Welcome to Ocala Arts and Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Thomas, and as always, we like to kick things off just calm, with ease, and great vibes. Talking about great vibes, I have next to me, three fine ladies representing an organization that you will want to make sure you connect with, and that's the Ocala Art Group. And seated next to me is the lovely, of course, most people know her as Short Lee, but we're going to get her name so we could make sure we get the rhythm of her name beautifully. So I'm seated next to the president of the Ocala Art Group,
Leona Asta.
Leona Asta. All right? Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Beautiful. And who is the lovely lady next to Leona?
This is one of my wonderful members, Jan Tindall.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And this is another lovely member, Debbie Ceres.
Welcome to Ocala Arts and Entertainment Podcast.
Thank you.
Beautiful. So, the conversation we had recently, Lee, I like how that song, recently, Lee.
You should have. Very poetic.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yes, cool.
You mentioned that you are coming out from New York. Mm-hmm. So I would like to start a little bit from there, and we would make our way up to this wonderful event you all have planned. I think it's in May, right?
Yes, May 5th.
Beautiful. So kick things off in terms of your, just a little background of you from New York, and walk us through how you got to this being the president of the Ocala Art Group.
Okay,
Sure.
it's kind of a long, short story. If
Beautiful.
You want to hear it like that.
I really hear it like that.
Okay, I retired as a New York City teacher, and I didn't want to get bored being in retirement, so I decided to start taking paint lessons.
Okay.
So just before I retired, I took a paint lesson in a library, and they put my painting along with the other students out in the lobby. And I love going back and forth, seeing the painting all the time, and never believed that was my painting. It was a watercolor. So then that was it. I retired to the Villages back 22 years ago.
Right.
Okay, because now you're going to be able to figure out my age.
Right,
I'm not
back
gonna
20
have that,
later.
okay. So anyway, then I started to take lessons there and in watercolor, and worked my way up to being president of that group for a while, 2 years. And then I heard about this group in Ocala that meets at the Appleton Museum, and they even have shows there.
Right.
Well, I still wasn't calling myself an artist yet, but when I entered my first art show, I won a ribbon, and then my friend said, "You can now call yourself an artist."
Oh.
So therefore, I had to look for another art group, and I went to the Appleton Museum and was very impressed. If you haven't been there, you have to go.
Yes.
Has wonderful shows and art and changes out. And it's a wonderful thing to have in our community here in the Ocala area. And they really were kind of desperate to have people on the executive board. But I said to them, I can't really do work for you because I'm involved in the Villages.
Oh, okay.
I'll be on the board though.
Right.
So for years and years and years, they carried me from one president to the other, and I stayed in the background being the corresponding secretary,
Okay.
which there was no corresponding. Everybody
Right.
talked and called. So I basically just sent out cards to Sunshine, to cheer them up if they were sick, or if they won $1 million, I congratulated them. So basically, I really didn't do too much work. Then about a few years ago, we lost our meeting place in the Appleton Museum.
Okay.
And that really impacted our group, where we went from almost 200 plus members down to very few.
Oh, so
It really-
200 members, that's
Yes.
okay.
So now over the years, we bounced around from meeting place to meeting place. And then about 5-6 years ago, the people here at the Brick City Arts Center, which is also a lovely place. If you haven't been, you should come down into the Ocala, right off the square, and come and see what they're doing here. It's wonderful.
It is. In fact, we are on location at the Marian Cultural Alliance, and of course, you would have seen, if you are paying attention to the Ocala Arts and Entertainment Podcast, you would have seen the lovely Ashley, Jonah, and of course the CEO. of MCA, Bailey, on. All right, so we are in this space as we speak.
Right. So continuing, which I forgot where I left off.
So Brick City.
Okay, so they welcomed their doors to us.
Yes.
And we were so lucky. We got our meetings here and as a donation, really, for about 2-3 years.
Okay.
And it really helped us. We were down to 20-something members. And then I was vice president, and I was in charge of doing some shows.
Right.
And I said, does anybody have a logo? I knew there was a logo someplace. So they gave me the logo, and I looked at it, and I said, oh my God, 1950, does that mean that's how old we are? That was like 70 years old.
Wow.
I said, that's like unbelievable, and we're near extinction, this cannot happen.
Right.
So over the years, I was vice president for a couple of years, and our president at the time, Sharon Harris, was really great, getting us back on track, getting us strong, and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, her term after 3 years was up, and she said, how about you take over? And I said, yeah, I'll do it. So I did it, and I wound up getting the most wonderful executive board that anybody could have. And they were all, if I asked them to give me an inch, they gave me 6.
Okay.
And I didn't even ask, I didn't pressure, I didn't have to do anything. And
Right.
And they were just as open to suggestions as I was. If somebody suggested A, then another person would say, well, let's do C instead. And we wound up doing phenomenal things.
Beautiful.
And over time, as my first year president, I set the goal. We even had a thermometer on our website. I wanted us to reach 71 members for our 71st year.
Right.
And if you go back, I don't know if it's still on the website, but you could see we made 72.
Okay, beautiful. So if folks want to visit that website, where can they go? What is the website handle?
It says lowercase, ocalaartgroup.org.
Beautiful. Remember, it's org. You hear how she pronounced it too, right? Org. O-R-G. So Ocala.
Are you making fun of my New York accent?
I'm loving the rhythm of how you pronounce that org. You see? A lot of people just say org, and you don't know if it's just O-R.
Oh, I know.
You see? So it's important to make sure they hear that G in there, O-R-G. So one more time, the website handle.
Okay, it's all lowercase, ocalaartgroup.org.
Beautiful.
Okay, and if you check on that, we have a lot of different interesting things. In September, I set a goal for 3 R's, like we did in school. We had reading, writing, and arithmetic, but we had the goal. You got me started now.
Yeah, let's start swinging. It's jazz time, so we move it.
So the thing was, I wanted to do reading, reflections, and roots for this group.
Right.
For my second year term. So the reading was, we started an artist reading group. We meet every 2 months, and we discuss a book about art, not necessarily art history, but mystery, romance, a mixture of both.
Yes.
We read about 2-3 books about Nazis and Germany and artists and blah, blah, blah. And one of the goals, my goal is for us to have the artists involved. It's just a small group right now.
Yes.
But to have them come with a painting that was inspired by the story. So far, I've been the only one bringing paintings in, but hopefully it'll be developing further.
Well, remember you got your ribbon, so
Right.
you did inherit your ribbon, so
yes.
you get your
Yes.
got. Now, where did these the 3 R's? Where did that take place? What kind of location or venue? Was it in schools or?
Well, in schools in the old days,
Okay.
used to be 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic. That's
Right.
what they taught you. Nothing, geography,
Right.
serious subjects. You just stayed on this agenda, and that's what you learned. So we knew how to add 2050 with 275 in our heads.
Oh.
Okay, don't ask me now. 'Cause
Right. I will ask you when we get off.
No, don't ask me. You'll forget the conversation in so long.
Hopefully.
Okay, so let me go back to finish the 3 R's, then you could ask your questions. 'Cause
Sure.
otherwise I'm gonna forget.
That's okay. I'll help you along.
Okay. So the next R was Reflections, which we had a show here, and the theme was Reflections, and it was very successful. We had 40 something of our members out of the 70, which is over 50%, enter the show, which is phenomenal. And then the third R was Roots.
Okay.
And people have come up to me now and said, I really thought you were crazy when you said that. And I said, truthfully, I thought the same.
Right.
But I wanted to do it. I felt after 70-something years, we didn't have any roots here. Like, you couldn't say, oh, that's the group that meets at such and such, or that's the group whose art's there. No roots.
Right.
70-something years old. I mean, that's like Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. We cannot let this group die.
Of course.
Okay? So we did Debbie on the end there, and
Yes.
I went traveling around to different locations and presented the idea, and some people were very receptive. We haven't heard from them yet, but hopefully it'll open up to a lot of other venues for us. But we happened to go to lunch after one of our meetings, and we went around the corner to Molly Maguire's.
Right.
And we said to the owner there, he introduced himself, George, and we said, oh, we're from the Ocala Art Group. He says, why don't you hang out in this room?
That's beautiful.
We didn't even ask him. And he
Wow,
offered
okay.
Okay, so we said here, and we couldn't believe it, and we, verbalized, could you repeat that? And
Yes.
he said, well, this used to be an art gallery. When he bought the place, there was art hanging there, but the
all right.
artist was from Maine or Massachusetts. He said he never sold anything because all his art was about lobsters.
Oh.
So he said, I hope that you'll have more appropriate subjects for this area to possibly sell. So then I worked with Debbie on the end, and as I said, we went around, and one of the things we worked on was we felt we wanted to give back to the community. And I'm not going to go into the details about what George offered for us, but he was very generous.
Right.
Okay? So with that generosity in mind, Debbie, who is a Blue Star mother, she suggested we tie in to give back to the community a 20% commission of all sales to the Blue Star mothers, which she will give you details on. But it's something I never knew about.
Okay.
Okay, and I am very partial to veterans, wounded warriors, and situations like that.
Yes.
And so my heart is really hoping that when we set up on May 5th around the corner at Molly Maguire's, that people will come in and support us for our giving back to the community and passing it on. We were given something, a wonderful free opportunity, and we're hoping to pass it on to the community.
So this is Molly
Molly Maguire,
Maguire's. This is a restaurant.
restaurant bar.
Okay,
Yes.
beautiful. And of course, we will have Molly Maguire's in the description so you guys could catch them and see where they're located, so you could come check it out. And it's on May 5th,
May 5th, Friday night, 5 to 7.
5 to 7.
And then they're going to have music from 7 on because it happens to be Cinco de Mayo.
Right, Cinco de
Okay,
Mayo.
so-
And is it free to the public? Is it
Yes.
open to everyone?
Yes. But,
Okay, beautiful.
But you'll have to buy drinks.
Of course.
You'll have to buy them.
Of course.
And we
Come
are
on, don't come
suggesting-
and just sit.
Yeah.
Drink something.
Yeah, and we are suggesting that Molly Maguire thinks up a themed new drink.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
like my daughter and her husband suggested Artini, and Artini, cool,
Oh.
right? Now they just have to figure out what to make the Artini out of.
So on May 5th, you have an opportunity to try Artini.
If they can make it, who knows?
They should be able
I
to.
hope so.
Yes, yes. Let's bring Debbie in real quick to tell us about this wonderful idea, and for Debbie to explain to us how did this idea come about, Debbie?
The Blue Star Mothers.
Blue Star
is
Mothers.
an organization of mothers of active and retired military, which I am. My daughter was in the Air Force. And we really, the most thing that we do is we make crafts on certain days and then we sell them at different venues.
Right.
Last year we donated over $14,000 by doing this to various organizations, and it rotates, so it's not the same all the time.
Right.
We have a whole list and we give, 500, 200. Sometimes they have a need and we know that and we hope
Yes.
we can fill it. So it's a wonderful organization of children, children's groups that have fallen military,
Right.
active, the veterans, hospitals, like I said, a list.
Yeah.
Which it'll be at Molly's so people can see, and you can go on the website. It's Blue Star Mothers of Ocala.
Blue Stars with the
Blue
S.
Star, no
Or
S.
no S. Blue Star
Mothers.
Mothers
Ocala.
Ocala.com.
Yes.
Okay, and we will also have that
We have
in
a
the
Facebook
description.
group as well. You can find us on Facebook.
Okay, and all of that stuff, folks, don't worry, we will make sure you get those passing on the screen as we speak, all right?
Wow.
Beautiful. So, that's great. We got to bring Jan in at some point, of course. You know, we have to hear the lovely Jan. So, let's bring in Jan to find out what is your role in the Ocala Art Group thus far, Jan?
I have been mainly active in organizing our shows, our art shows.
Oh.
I did the reflection show that was one of the 3 R's.
Okay, all right.
And I'm currently organizing the show at Molly Maguire's.
Oh,
And Dracula.
Oh, I forgot Dracula, yes,
oh.
Dracula.
Yeah, but, you know, yeah.
Ask us
See.
about Dracula. Ask her about it. It's
Oh.
cool.
Dracula. Jan, tell us about Dracula, Jan.
This was in conjunction with the Civic Theater and their production of Dracula
What year are we talking about?
this
here?
past year.
This past year.
October.
Okay, October. All right.
And so they gave us the space to have an art show, and we themed it on the many themes of Dracula.
Right.
And we created bats for their lobby, so it was a nice little give and take.
Oh, beautiful. So you hear this? Jan is this, you know, inspiring the Ocala Art Group with her ideas and vision to bring all this stuff alive. And she's working on this wonderful event coming up in May 5th at Molly Maguire's. So,
This is also in conjunction, I'm sorry to interrupt,
Sure,
but this
that's
is
okay.
also in conjunction with the art walk that night. So it's a time when people will be downtown,
I'm
they can
glad you
check
said
out
that.
our new gallery.
yes.
And we are hoping to increase this to other venues in town.
Okay, so I'm glad you touched on that because I want folks to know exactly what they're going to expect apart from that artini.
Okay.
What they're going to expect to see when they come to Molly Maguire restaurant on May 5th. What are people going to be looking at?
Artists are submitting, there's not one theme for this, so
Right.
artists will be submitting their artwork that they feel would be good in that space. And there'll be about somewhere in the vicinity of 15 to 20 people exhibiting.
Okay, so you're saying 15 to 20 artists will have their art up on display.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's a wonderful.
We're starting out small, but it could develop.
But that's small.
Yeah,
Okay.
For
That's
art shows.
that's a brilliant idea, and the fact that you were invited
Yes.
to be at this space
That's-
to do that.
So touching. It
Oh,
is.
that's beautiful. So, what we're going to do also is we will find out from this lovely lady, president, if there is a flyer that we could get. So, we will also have all those details on the flyer, and it will come up at the end of this segment so you could see all of the information. So, your main event is May 5th coming up.
May 5th.
Right.
But it's not our only event.
Beautiful.
Do you want to hear more?
Let's jump
Okay.
in. Come on, let's jump in, President.
The month of July, August, and September, we will have an art show at South State Bank, which is on Silver Springs Boulevard, in the lovely upstairs gallery.
Okay.
Okay, it'll be hanging, and we also, in that show, will donate 20% of sales to the Blue Star Mothers. We will have a poster at the bottom of the steps in the bank lobby saying, be sure to see upstairs, and have that recognition of our donation to Blue Star Mothers.
And this is the month of,
July, August, and September.
so all of these 3
whole
months,
summer.
the whole, okay.
So we have May, July, August, and September,
Okay,
covered.
yes, May the 5th, right.
and then we do have more.
You hear
We're
that?
afraid, right?
So, South State Bank,
Right,
July, August, September.
perfect, yeah.
Now, is it just one group of paintings from one group of artists that
No.
will be there, or you will
That's
be
the whole
changing?
group. The whole group.
The
will
entire
be
group,
there.
okay.
Well, not the whole group. The whole group is invited to come.
Right.
We have about 40 people who will come. It's a hard time of the year because many of our artists travel
Right.
or are snowbirds.
Right.
So we have to get it all set up ahead of time. And last year we had about 60 or 70 paintings. It was really too much.
Right.
So we're cutting back. We're only allowing one painting per artist this time.
Okay.
Last time we allowed two. But we are always looking for venues, and we are going to be looking for more restaurants and
Right.
hope to tie in still with our Blue Star Mothers. And in October, Debbie and I have kind of temporary arrangements to have an art show, and I hope you all come October 21st, which is a Saturday. It's not permanently decided yet, but that's
Okay.
our idea.
Yes.
We are going to have a show, if all goes well, at the Magnolia Art Exchange, which is
Okay.
the old train station.
Yes.
And it will be an outdoor show on the platform.
That's brilliant.
Isn't that cool?
A whole lot in store from this wonderful Ocala Art Group. And guess what? We will ask them to come back on the Ocala Arts and Entertainment Podcast.
I love that.
So later on, when we get our artinis in for May 5th event, we have some more events coming up,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So
There'll be
we
more.
have the July and August
Yes.
and September and stuff. So
Yes.
you'll be seeing a lot of these lovely ladies on the Ocala Arts and Entertainment Podcast talking about stuff to come. And this is why they want you guys to support them. So let's talk about the kind of support you are getting, or what kind of challenges are you experiencing?
Well, the support we're getting is phenomenal.
Beautiful.
Okay,
Good.
Debbie and I have gone to a number of places, and we're waiting to hear from them. We went to the World Equestrian Center, and
Yes,
there's
yes.
possibilities there. Of course, there's a lot of red tape, so it's not something you can set up immediately.
Right,
It takes a
right.
lot of time on our part of following up, and it's not always easy to reach these people.
Yes.
Okay? So we also met with the people at the Riley Theater,
Right,
and they were very open, but we're waiting to hear back from them.
right.
The best part of our experience was we went to the mayor,
Okay.
okay? And I told him he was the first mayor I ever met.
Oh.
He was shocked. I don't know how many people have met mayors, but
Right.
that was my first. So anyway, I said to him, "What do I call you?" I thought you had to say like Your Honor. He said, "Call me Kent."
Okay.
So I'm on first name basis with Kent now,
Right.
okay? So anyway, he made some very generous offers, which haven't really been able to work out. But the support of and the open-mindedness of the people that we're encountering is very encouraging to us. And we do have a couple of other ideas, but right now we will be meeting at some other restaurants.
Right.
And we hope to have at least 2 more restaurants. So if you own a restaurant, contact me and get in the circuit for
Yes.
us, because it's a good way to go back, give back to the community and get your business built up maybe a little bit in that aspect of it. And we would support you with our membership and blah, blah, blah.
Beautiful. So the support is coming in.
Yes.
What kind of challenges
Well,
are you facing?
The challenges are that the people that we need, and I'm sure Debbie agrees on this, they all love our ideas
Right.
and they want to do it. But unfortunately, they don't have the power to do it.
Okay.
So they have to
I
go
see.
back
I see.
and
I see. I see.
go to the higher ups.
To try and get them to
The
move
red
things
tape
forward. Right.
is unbelievable even for a small city, and we're waiting on a lot of things. So not having roots has created an issue with us in some ways because it's a lot of work.
Yes.
When we want to have an art show, it's not just say, okay, let's have an art show. We have to find a place. Then we have to
Okay.
consult, how much is it going to cost? You have
Yes,
to rent the
yes,
space.
yes.
Then you make certain deals with the people that you're talking to, but they have to go back and get it okay. You have to go back and get it okay then. And it's like, time consuming.
Yes.
So having roots would be avoiding a lot of that. We
Right.
work out our details at the beginning of the year, and then the rest of the jobs are easy.
Right.
You just book when you want to have your shows, blah, 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 and it's just easier, and it would be a heck of a lot easier to get officers then, too, because officers are not that coming forth at times because they're afraid of work.
Right.
They have health issues, and their spouses have health issues, so I can understand why people are afraid to commit to be an officer. But
Right.
truthfully, I tell people, I kind of feel as president that I'm like a baseball player who loves what he's doing and is getting paid $3 million.
Right.
I love what I'm doing. I'm not getting paid $3 million. I'm not getting paid.
Let's
So
make
don't
it
get
clear.
crazy.
Let's be clear on that.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm saying.
Be very clear on that.
So
But
at the
just
end
went
of it, basically, a space is what.
We want a
You want
permanent space. We
permanent
got
space.
one. I'd like to get at least 2 more, just so people know. And
Right.
so that we also have a venue to give back to the wonderful Blue Star Mothers
Right.
and the groups they're affiliated with, helping the people who served our country and paying back to them for what they did and the sacrifices they did.
Folks, a whole lot more to talk about because this wonderful organization, the Ocala Art Group, they have a lot to say and we need to listen to what they have to say. So we will invite them for, guess what?
What?
No red tape to come on the Ocala Arts and Entertainment Podcast.
I love that.
All tape.
Okay.
We move it. In fact, there's only white tape.
Okay.
Get on.
All right.
We don't have any red tape. So we're gonna meet
You're
again.
making me cry, Sean.
Oh,
I have dry
get
eyes,
some
so-
of that $1 million in down there. Yeah, that's it.
I'm
But
crying.
so we want to thank this lovely lady, the president of the Ocala Art Group. Most know her as Lee. All right, so just as the mayor said to her, just call me Kent. She's going to tell you, just call me Lee.
Right.
All right? The lovely Jan and the lovely Debbie in the house at Marian Cultural Alliance, and they are preparing for this wonderful event that is coming up May 5th at Molly Maguire's restaurant. You can't miss that. And the Ocala Arts and Entertainment Podcast, continue to check it out. You will see as we move forward more stuff coming up with this wonderful group. So I want to say thank you to this,
Well, thank you.
I know you're trying to be as blessed as I am, right?
You're only meeting 3 of us. You should read the rest
The
of
rest
us.
of, oh boy. So I want to say thank you to the Ocala Art Group for coming on the Ocala Arts and Entertainment Podcast, and more to come. Stay tuned. Bye for now.
Thank you.